Welcome to our very first video podcast, and with that, we're excited to introduce Buildboard by Careerousity. Not just another career platform, but a system built on one simple belief. Clarity doesn't come from options, it comes from self awareness. Today, we're starting this journey with someone truly inspiring. Kashish is a 16-year-old grade 12 student at the Indian High School Dubai, and what stands out about her isn't just what she's building it, but why she's building it. She has always been deeply empathetic and perceptive, someone who notices the unspoken struggles of people around her. That sensitivity led her to create Thrive Mind Studio, a space that goes beyond being a business. It's a safe, judgment free environment when people can express themselves, slow down, reconnect with their emotions through journaling, creativity, and reflection. Her vision is simple yet powerful to make emotional well being feel normal, accessible, and less intimidating, especially for our generation. Because behind the surface of everything's fine, there's often so much more, and Thrive Mind Studio exists to hold space for that. So, welcome Kashish. Let's begin with the podcast. Through Buildboard by Careerousity, our latest service, we help productize young people's ideas. Kashish is just 16 years old. She has already launched her own initiative called Thrive Mind Studio. She is Careerosity's first young change agent and the first success story to come out of Buildboard.
I'm Kashish Wadhwani and I'm the founder of Thrive Mind Studio. It's a creative platform which is focused on emotional expression and self-reflection. The canvas it helped me push myself to actually connect to those reflections, and this is when it started shifting from just a simple exercise to something that could potentially exist outside of my notebook or my thoughts.
What happens when young people stop waiting for permissions to build? At Careerosity, we believe that ideas should not just sit in notebooks, they should become real things in the world. Through Buildboard by Careerosity, our latest service, we help productize young people's ideas. It starts with a personality test, and then that is only the beginning. From there, we go deeper into a lead canvas to understand what truly drives someone. Then we identify what they are passionate about and turn that into something tangible. Sometimes it becomes a side hustle, sometimes it becomes something even bigger. Today's guest is a powerful example of what happens when that process works. Kashish is just 16 years old. She has already launched her own initiative called Thrive Mind Studio, focused on action-led strategies that help teams explore and express emotions that they often struggle to articulate. She is Careerosity's first young change agent and the first success story to come out of Buildboard. Kashish, welcome. We are so excited to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so before we start, I would just like you to introduce yourself.
I'm Kashish Wadhwani. I'm 16 years old. I study in grade 12, the Indian High School, and I'm the founder of Thrive Mind Studio. It's a creative platform which is focused on emotional expression and self-reflection.
Great. So I'm going to start off by asking you the first question, which is that you started with a simple personality test. What did that reveal about you that you had not fully realized before?
Before the personality test, I had various interests in psychology, in creative work, but it felt really scattered and messed up in my head. And I never really thought that those interests would actually be connected to what I will be doing today. And this test, it gave me answers. And it helped me notice a lot of patterns about how I think, about what naturally comes to me or what naturally draws to my attention. And I realized that I'm someone who tends to observe more of human emotions, the human behavior, and how it closely correlate with each other. And so I always enjoyed expressing myself in creative ways. So I was discovering something that was all that already existed in me. I just needed it. I needed a proper strategy and a proper way I could express myself.
Great. That sounds so insightful, and I'm sure that was really, really helpful to you. So when we moved into the Buildboard process and the lead canvas, What shifted for you? When did this stop feeling like an exercise and start feeling like something real?
When we moved into the Canvas stage, it was more about thinking intentional. So it was until we did this particular part, it felt like a reflection. But the canvas, it helped me push myself to actually connect to those reflections. I could really understand what the real problem was and who are the people I can connect to. And this is when it started shifting from just a simple exercise to something that could potentially exist outside of my notebook or my thoughts. And so helping me map the problem and thinking about who it might relate to, how this experience would mean, and how can I potentially give back to the society is how this has helped me.
I'm sure that must have been very interesting and very exciting. So most people your age are still figuring things out, but you actually built something from it. So what gave you the confidence to actually take that idea seriously?
I feel that a lot of young people have a lot of brilliant and wonderful ideas, but again, like we're told directly or indirectly, that we should wait until we're older or until we're at a certain age. Like people take people who are 18 and above more seriously than children, because they feel that we're still immature, we're still under development. But I feel like this is the most crucial part of life where our creativity thrives at it and it's at its peak. So I feel that at some point I did realize that my ideas don't need to be perfect to be explored. They just need that sense of curiosity, that sense of willingness to just try and give my 100% into this. So for me, it wasn't about believing everything. It wasn't about me believing that I had everything figured out. Nothing had to be perfect, and that is what curiosity taught me, that I don't need to be perfect. As long as I have my confidence, my efforts, everything else will flow along.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think you just need to have that confidence to start, and then everything will just fall into place as you go forward. And I'm sure also having Simran as your mentor and Careerousity there must have helped you a lot.
It has helped me a lot. She firstly, she is my guru, and I feel that I can connect with her very easily. She's very easy to talk to. She relates with Gen Z's a lot, and it's she always puts that passion when she's working into something, and she's always telling me that I believe in you, and I really want someone who believed in me in that way, and she's the best teacher I could get.
Exactly, she's very encouraging, and I think at your age especially, even at mine of course, that's very, very important.
True.
So tell us about the moment that Thrive Mind Studios came into existence. When did your interest in psychology turn into something that you actually wanted to build for others?
Okay. There was this moment in time where I started noticing the various periods or the various patterns of how people express their emotions through direct conversations. People often they tend to struggle, how to express themselves. They'll either they'll break down while talking, or they'll not be able to put their emotions in the right words, and probably in rage also they'll say something and then they'll regret it later, and so then they prefer not to talk it out. But then when you look at someone when they're drawing, when they're acting a scene out, or when they're telling you a story, or when they're just trying to express something which is not in a verbal manner, it comes to them more naturally, and it's a much easier way for them to express themselves, rather than pushing themselves and taking them out of their comfort zone and telling them to talk. So that observation has been with me for quite a while, and I've seen it a lot around me, even in Dubai, since it's such a fast moving place. I see it often that people are not able to express how they feel. And so this eventually helped me create that idea. It helped me then create it into a business. And we can use creative expressions to we can use it intentionally to help people process their emotions, and they need to know that it's not always necessary to verbalize your emotions. And that is when the existence of Thrive Mind Studio came into picture.
That's great. Another thing is that I feel like all of us have so many, like, we look at so many things and we're like, this is wrong, this should be better, we can do that. So it's so cool that you were actually able to turn it into something real and you're actually able to make that change, especially at your age.
Yes.
So Thrive Mind Studio focuses on action-led strategies to help teams deal with emotions that they often struggle to express openly. Why do you think that people find it difficult to talk about their feelings?
I feel that a big part of it is that people are not able, they're not always taught how to express themselves or to verbalize how they feel, or actually just express themselves as a whole. Especially in Indian households that we've seen time and again. From years, it's this social stigma that you're always told to suppress your feelings, you're not supposed to back answer, you're not supposed to, share how you feel. If you say something, then it's taken in a very wrong manner. And so I feel like we're just taught how to behave, we're taught how to stay composed and calm all the time. We have to perform well everywhere. We have to excel everywhere. We're not allowed to lag behind. We're not allowed to be lazy. We're not allowed to, get angry at anyone. So, but then that's not necessarily how we like how to describe what we feel internally. That is not the right
Not
way.
possible.
And so
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. We're humans at the end of the day, and again, we're social animals. So we need to express how we feel. And so when emotions do come up, many people they don't have the words, the vocabulary, or that sense of safety that they feel when they're trying to talk to someone. So they don't open up, and then that leads to a lot of negative effects. And that is why we create this alternative for people to express themselves, which is a very powerful method, and it is being used in the day-to-day lives of people.
Yeah, and I think with therapy being so stigmatized as well, your method is something, it's just a lot fresher and it's something that can be applied a lot more. And also, it can also be used with therapists, right? Like, I'm sure
It
they
can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, in various movies we've seen the famous series
Yeah.
Never Have I Ever. In that also they're told that she was asked to journal her feelings out, to write it down or draw something, because that's the easier way for people to express themselves, and it is being used in current situations.
Yeah, exactly. So that's great. So what kind of challenges or emotional barriers do you hope Thrive Mind Studio will help people work through? So again, like talking about maybe someone that you worked with in the past or somewhere that you've gotten to make an impact that's just spoken to you.
Okay, there were two instances. First was a small workshop I took with these kids in my building, and they were in the age bracket of 7 to 10. They're young children, but again, everyone does face problems, and I feel they were very eager to do this activity. They felt that it was simple, taking paper, we'll paint, and then we'll draw on it, and those simple activities that children do. But then when they started doing the journaling, when they had to choose their stickers, when they had to write something from their own mind, when they had to think about it, when they had to analyze their emotions and write it down, I feel that even children of such a young age could they can put it out very easily. In that sense, they don't have to talk it out, and even young children do face problems, but they don't have the vocabulary or they don't have the mindset to speak it out to someone. So that helps that helps children that helps children a lot, actually. And then the second instance was a stall that we had in one of a school fair, and that was again exceptional. I would say that people who were from all age brackets, there were people in there who were grandparents, there were parents, there were children who were all enjoying doing these activities. And I feel like you don't need to be of a particular age, or you don't have to have expertise in drawing or painting or art. You just have to have the intention of letting everything go and just expressing yourself.
Yeah.
So that is the change we would want to bring, and the acceptance is what we would want to bring in.
Yeah, like a lot of different things like childhood trauma and everything does exist, but obviously it's very hard to bring it up to the surface. So I'm sure your business helps people do that. Moving further into that as well, were you the one who kind of came up with everything and figured out that this is what you need to do to get your result? Just could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So, firstly, I did, like I said before, I had like these vague ideas in my head, and like it was all in a mess in my head. But then I did the Curiosity billboard and then the various activities that Simran made me do, and I got a clarity of what I wanted to do. So, I did have a picture, a somewhat picture in my head of what I wanted to do, but I never thought I would put it into action and create like a business out of it. So that is how it has helped me in like creating this platform.
Yeah, I think just like at your age, at this age, it's very important that you have somebody guiding you. Like for example, I had a business when I was in like 11th grade, and my dad was like my biggest motivator. He was just like, just do it. You will figure it out along the way. So I think that's exactly what you've done, and it's so cool to see it coming to life.
Yeah, true.
So, turning an idea into something structured is not easy. What was the hardest part about productizing your idea?
The hardest part wasn't the idea, I would say. It was believing that the idea deserved to exist. I would say that when you're 16, and again, people wouldn't take you seriously at this stage of life. Again, and also there's that voice in your head that, what if people don't like it? What if people won't take me seriously? So that was my main challenge. It was less about creativity, but more about the confidence about doing it. But then again, I trusted myself, and I wanted to explore the idea, and that it can still evolve, and we can create it into a larger business, a larger platform for people to express themselves. So that was the hardest challenge I faced.
Yeah, I think also like not just being 16, but even being like a woman overall, it's harder to get people to take you seriously. So you need to believe in yourself and be like, I deserve to be here and I know what I'm doing. So
Completely.
So how did Buildboard by Careerousity help you move from I am interested in this to this is something that I can actually build?
There were multiple phases that I'd gone through, and all of these helped me organize my thinking much better. From simple ideas, from simple pop-ups in my head, I could finally convert it into something that I would want to capitalize and help and use help people out. And so instead of saying that I just like psychology or the creative expressions, I started thinking about more of the practical questions that come into picture, about the problems I wanted to address in society and what experiences that I want people to indulge in. And so that pushed the idea from something that was completely abstract, completely vague, into something that was more structured out there.
So it's so cool that you're making like this huge impact on so many people's lives. Like I'm sure you must feel like amazing and super proud of yourself for that.
I do.
Okay, so what has changed in the way that you saw yourself in the beginning of Thrive Mind Studios and sort of during the ideation phase versus now when you've actually productized it?
I believe the biggest shift has probably been how I see myself. Like the Kashish in 2025 and the Kashish in 2026 is like are two different people, I would say. And so before this, like the interest that I had was just something I enjoyed learning about. But then now I see these interests into something that I can build a platform upon. And it's made me realize that creating something doesn't always have to start with something that I need to have expertise in. I don't need to always have a degree, a PhD, or some kind of education. I just, as long as I have this one simple idea, it's more than enough. And sometimes you just need to start with curiosity and a lot of commitment, I would say.
Yeah, and a lot of like belief in yourself that yes, I got this. Whatever is happening, I'm gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so my last question to you would be that if another 15 or 16-year-old is listening right now with an idea but they're feeling unsure about it, what would you tell them?
If someone my age is listening to this and you feel unsure whether your idea is big enough or not, I would say that ideas, they rarely start big. In my case as well, it started as few thoughts that I never really knew that this could lead to something this big. But then again, it starts with small observations, small curiosities, or some small talent you have in yourself. But you need to firstly accept that, cherish it, and build upon it. And the important thing again is that you don't the idea doesn't have to be perfect all the time. It's just about you willing to explore it and learn from the process. And if you do fail, get up and do, learn from it and then work upon it. So and just never be scared to work upon your ideas and create something that could help the society as a whole.
Yeah, and I'm sure Buildboard also helped you kind of organize your thoughts and go further with that. So how was your experience with that?
The Buildboard has helped me drastically. It has I'm in awe firstly. It has, like, again, as I stated time and again, that my thoughts were so scattered around, and they just helped me. It's just like how a light, it's scattered, but then when it goes through the prism, it gets into one straight line. So then again, it's just like that. Your scattered thoughts, through this Buildboard, it helps you identify your talents, your strengths, and your weaknesses as well. But then it helps you capitalize on it, and it helps you have a more clearer thought in your head.
That was an amazing analogy you've used. Makes me feel very motivated inside. Lastly, if someone wanted to actually contact you and use your services, so how would we go about doing that?
I do have an Instagram page. It's Thrive Mind Studio, and also on LinkedIn. My email ID and my phone number also will be available if anyone does want to contact me for any detail or any collaboration.
Okay, perfect. So we will have everything tagged, and yeah. So Kashish's journey reminds us that ideas do not have an age limit. When young people are given the right tools, structure, and encouragement, they do not just imagine change, they build it. And that is exactly what Buildboard by Careerousity is about, helping ideas become real. So thank you so much, Kashish. We loved having you on here. I love speaking to you. And yeah, I hope to talk to you again very soon.
Same with. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Great.